Yo, what's going on? What's happening, video world? And to all my video viewers, LBs as I like to call you, welcome once again to the channel that's bringing you complete entertainment, all rolled up in one. What channel might that be? Well, I'm glad you caught it. The channel I'm referring to is the one and only one, DJBLongVideo.com. Now you might ask yourself, what's so different about this channel? Now I say to you, the difference is you. That's right, the difference will be you tuning in to keep up with the variety of current topics, including music, sports, and domestic worldwide social events, politics, religion, relationships, just to make a few. It's all about entertaining, enlightening you in various ways under one umbrella, and that's the umbrella DJBLongStudio.com. Today's feature will be, we're gonna dive into the sports fanatics. Yes, indeed. What's happening in the sports world and all the sports lovers out there? I'm talking about those of you that eat, sleep, dream, and probably shit sports. For those of you that just gotta have it, I present to you the show Sports Fanatics. On this show, I feature guests will be talking about some of the hottest issues in sports by giving you their unbiased opinions without any political correctness. That's right, none of that PCS BS on this show. This is not intended to be a debate show, but an opinion-based show with facts included. You know what they say about opinions? They're just like assholes. Everybody's got one, but guess what? Some of them think more than others. So please don't bring that funk up in here. Even with that being said, at the end of the day, it's still your opinion. And as long as it's your opinion, no one can tell you that it's right or wrong. So without further ado, let's go ahead and meet my distinguished guest co-host for the day. We got Brandon up in the he's out. Brandon, what's going on, my brother?
What's going on? What's going on? Happy to be here.
Brandon ain't long on words and stuff. And in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and shut this thing down here with the music. And then we're gonna jump right into the first topic. You ready for that, Brandon?
Let's go.
All right, here we go. All right. So listen, today what we're gonna do, we're gonna delve into some topics. We're gonna talk a little bit about Dion. I'm sure if you're living and breathing air on this planet at this point in time, you're gonna know exactly what we're talking about with Dion and the things that's going on around him in at Jackson State, and the fact that he left Jackson State and went ahead and joined up with Colorado. We're gonna talk on that. A lot of you out there got some pretty harsh feelings about it. You know, there's some people have gone as far as to call him a sellout. Hey, listen. I don't know. I don't know how you're gonna call somebody a sellout when they were getting paid $1.5 million, and now all of a sudden they get 29.5 mil. You call me a sellout, but I'm taking the 25 mil. Okay, that's how I'm rolling, and I'm sure you would too if you had the opportunity. What do you say about that, Brandon?
No, I agree, man. Jackson, he did everything that the man said that he was going to do. He did. To piggyback off what you said, Jackson State was only paying this man $1 million. And then he agreed. Half his contract that he was getting paid, he was putting back into Jackson State with a new locker room, working on new facilities, all that good stuff for the athletics. So technically, the man only really got paid $500,000 for the year. Technically,
I'm telling you. And listen, the money that he's making now with Colorado, that won't even be taxable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's drawing that on interest. So
right.
Yeah, for the people, the haters, I call them haters actually. That's one thing I do despise amongst us as a peep. We get to a point, man. You know, we scream and cry about no black coaches getting a chance to coach at that level, and as soon as one does get a chance to coach at that level, we call him a sellout. What do we want? What we want? You know what I'm saying? The crabs in a barrel effect. Because that's
crab in the buckets. That's exactly what they want.
That's exactly what's going on, and so it pisses me off when I hear those kind of commentaries about what was going on with Dion and the things that he brought to Jackson State. And like you and I were talking about earlier, before we came on air, some of the positives. All it takes is one negative for us to harp on, but we got 10, 15 positives. We dismiss that.
Right.
We don't even want to discuss that. We want to discuss that one negative. And so those types of things, man, is one of the reasons. It's I almost want to call it almost like a slave mentality. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we so many of us are so locked into that still, we don't even recognize it. We don't recognize
I
it.
think a lot of people was caught up on that whole thing. What I'm going to do for HBCUs. Everybody looking at the fact that okay, after 3 years you left, but what has this man accomplished in the last 3 years? He said a blueprint out for other black coaches to actually follow if you actually follow it. Now the only difference is that maybe those other coaches just don't have your resume. They're not a three-time Super Bowl champion. They're not a Hall of Famer. But if you can actually guide young men, and it's not just football. We talking about Dion as a whole, as a man, and what he actually brings to the table as far as developing on the field, on and off the field. Look at and based off what I mean by that too. Jackson State, when they normally get off the bus, they normally be in jeans or sweatsuits. Nah. Dion was like, I need y'all in a suit and tie. Point blank, period. He set a bar. This is where I want my team to be at. So if you can't meet this standard, then guess what? You gotta go. And
Absolutely. Absolutely, and I'm glad you brought that up in regards to their outfits and uniforms. And I've heard Dion say this, and I've heard others say this regarding the alumni of HBCU schools, the alumni, and how a lot of the alumni sitting back criticizing. But what Dion did actually, he reached out with the uniform thing, with
right,
the dress. He reached out to Michael Strahan, and he wanted those guys going to the games looking professional instead of in their hoodies, but looking the typical quote unquote unprofessional black man. But in the HBC, that was the norm, how they dressed and this stuff. So when football teams traveled, he had those guys. Michael Strahan, to his credit, he actually bought wardrobes out and suits and clothes for the team. And so when they went to the games, they went dressed like professionals. And again, we say, well, why do you got to dress like a professional? Well, okay, well, you feel good about yourself, you'll play good, but and
right.
a lot of that situation was based on that, and but the alumni, and that's what gets me. The alumni of any HBCU, the donation percentage is for them donate.
Oh.
We spend more money than that at Pizza Hut.
Right.
Their average donation was about 7%.
And that's crazy though. That's really crazy.
That's very
And
crazy.
like you just mentioned like 5 minutes ago, that crab in the bucket mentality, right? You know what I mean? Like you want your school and your university to win and compete at the highest level in your conference, but yet you're not taking the time out to go out there and actually help, or like you just said, actually contribute. What Michael Strahan did out of his own pocket, he went ahead and actually donated from his line. Now he didn't go out and buy anybody line. He donated from the Michael Strahan line. I have a couple of suits from Michael Strahan. They're nice. I'm not gonna sit up here in
Okay, you
front.
rolling like that too,
You know
huh?
what I mean? You know what I mean. I have like two or three suits. Like they're nice. Like and I paid a good little penny for them. I
Right,
caught them on sale, but I still paid a little penny for them. But
right.
you know what I mean? They're nice. But how many other people that's actually doing that? Like really, that's giving back. It's not
Yeah,
a lot.
it, it,
It's sad.
it really is, man. And and that's why I say as far as HBCU concerned, in particular schools, I still think it's one of those situations where the alumni, they're the ones that, I mean, typically, obviously, parents of those kids don't have $1 million or $500,000 to donate, but they damn sure got more than $7 if they to
Right.
donate. Okay, so you do a $500 a year as a donor. If you got that from 80% of the people, then you may not have some of the issues that you have when it comes to certain things around the HBCU. And what they really wanted the Dion to do to me, I'm thinking, okay, they thought, they looked at him as if he was going to be the savior for all of the HBCU.
Right.
No,
Right.
no, no, not even, not even. And then if you're going to take it that route, think about Dion was there for what, 3 years?
3 years.
3 years, and according to statistics, Dion generated $185 million in marketing and advertisement for the HBCU. Not just, well, I
Mm.
think it was for Jackson State.
It was for Jackson
185
State.
million. 185 mil. You know what I'm
And
saying?
what a lot of
185
people
mil.
and what a lot of people not realizing is that Jackson State, no matter how you look at it, they kind of screwed Dion a little bit.
Yes.
And the reason why I said it is in a part of his contract is that when they had a sellout game, they get a football team 30% of the revenue. Out of 3 years, you trying to tell me they have not one sellout game, not one? Come on, man.
You couldn't buy a ticket to get into their games when
Come
you couldn't
on.
get a ticket.
Come on. How many times did Dion office get broken into? His son's cars got broken into.
Hmm. Yeah,
Come on,
yeah,
man.
yeah. That's straight up. That's straight crazy there. Yeah. Uh, and and yet he was a sellout in that scenario. Dion he got contracts with Walgreen. He's got contracts with Under Armour. Matter of fact, Under Armour was no, yeah, Under Armour actually gave them boys uniforms, and they wore a different uniform every game. And they say only team that had more uniforms than they did was Oregon. And you know how Oregon come out a different uniform every other day, but they were able to get that through negotiations from Dion with Under Armour. And also he was in negotiation with American Airlines as well. And I'm sure it was regarding flights, paying for those tickets to get them boys from one state to the next. That money,
Right.
the school wasn't funding that. It wasn't funding that. And then what the school wanted to do was anything that came from the football program, and a lot of schools do rely on the football program to actually generate money for the school itself in general. But
Right.
you got to have other activities that's generating money. You can't just rely on one program, especially in the HBCU. You know,
Yeah,
you
but at the end
can't.
of the day, it's hard. It's really hard because a lot of the revenue, like you said, come from football. Especially when we talking about, you just said all HBCUs. You're talking about Cookman, Fam, Jackson, Southern. I can name them.
Yeah,
The
listen,
basketball, I ain't talking about academically, but far as sports, it's football. It's
it's
football.
football is the major attraction, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the things that he was a little bit upset about is that he mentioned, and I didn't know this. Of course, I didn't. But to be honest with you, if it had it not for been him, I wouldn't follow HBCU games as closely as I did. Listen, what's the program that comes on every Saturday morning for college football? They start the morning off. Uh,
College game day.
College game day, first time ever. They went down to Jackson State,
Yeah. Yep.
Jackson State, to broadcast the show.
Yep.
First time ever. So I mean, the impact that he had, like I said, it was a widespread impact, and it's a trickling impact. And some of the things that Jackson State benefited the most, but the HBCU did. Even though they weren't benefiting directly, they were being benefited
Yeah.
indirectly. And so that was a part of it. And I get it. You're right. If he if he'd have stayed there for 5 years, who knows what that would look like?
And a lot of people call, like you said, a lot of people call him a sellout, but what you got to think of it look at it from the outside looking in. Like, look at it from a different mindset. The scouts, NFL scouts, were not, out of the 3 years that he was there, he had to beg NFL scouts to come out to Jackson State to actually come out and look at his boys. He had to have private workouts for them for the scouts to come out. No scout wasn't trying to go to no HBCU.
At all.
None. How many players right now from an HBCU that's on the NFL roster? It's not many. It's some, and
Yeah,
they're actually starting, and they're
right,
actually contributors on the NFL roster. But it's not a lot.
right,
So he's trying to put his kids, and I'm not talking about just his kids.
right, right,
He
right,
he wants to help out in another way. He's talking about anybody that's on my team. I want y'all boys to strive and be the best. I want y'all boys to get to the next level. So why you think Travis Hunter is following him? Why? And we're not talking about his kids. His kids, he been coaching his kids since Little League, going up into high school. He was their high school coach. And like I said, like I told you, you go back and look at that interview from him and Shannon Sharp. He said after that, he thought that, you know what, listen, I'm done. I'm just gonna relax and and just chill. I'm done with coaching. He never
hmm
he never thought that he was gonna be in the collegiate level until he
right.
started getting those calls. He's like, well, maybe, his words are like, well, God, well, maybe this is God's way of telling me that, nah, my job isn't done yet.
Yeah,
You can't
exactly.
knock, you can't knock the man.
Yeah, exactly. And then he mentioned something too regarding, like you said, when he decided to go to Jackson State. People were like, well, what's he coming here? Why you gonna go take a bigger job or something where he could have started, maybe in a Division
Right,
One school instead of going to HBCU. And but his response was is that's, and I was surprised that he speak in the tones of religion as much as he does. I was
right.
surprised about that. I was also surprised that when he mentioned that he never smoked and he never drank. Now that threw me for a loop. As much as Dion used to like to party,
Right. You know what I
you know
mean?
what I'm saying?
I
Come on,
get you.
man.
I
That's
get
the only
you.
thing. That's the only thing that I'm like, okay,
Right.
Dion. Now
So you're trying to tell
you
me you
trying to
never
tell
had
me?
you never had a drink.
Come
Okay.
on, man. Come on, Dion. Come on, man. I ain't gonna tell nobody.
Right,
Tell the
right,
truth,
right,
man.
right.
Tell the truth, because he was a
Right.
straight party animal. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you
You don't
remember, but
think because of his persona and the way especially when he was in FSU, it's
oh,
the whole gold chain, the little swagger with the Jerry curl.
with the
Come
Jerry
on,
curl,
man.
Dion say, Dion used to wear that scarf, and he put that scarf on his head and on his Hall of Fame trophy too, and
Right.
put
I
that
know I
scarf
seen
on
it.
his
Yeah, I
head.
seen it.
So,
Yep.
but he said, people used to say he used to wear it to keep the Jerry curl juice from flowing down in his eyes and stuff. But he said it was
Right.
dry. He said that Jerry curl was dry. For those of you that don't remember, go Google it.
Man,
But
listen, that
you'll
was a little
see.
bit before you talking about that was what in the 88? I was
Yeah,
3 years old, to be honest
yeah,
with
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. I'm
You
surprised you
know,
remember.
but it was one of those I grew up watching, you know what I mean? By the time I got up when I was like what, 6, 7 years old, I remember the Michael Irvins, you know what I mean, the Emmets, the Dion, I remember. I remember watching them. So, I remember.
Yeah, he
But,
was. He was.
go ahead.
Yeah, Dion was. He was. I mean, he was special from the very beginning, man,
Oh,
and
yeah.
nobody really realized it. And like you were saying, man, I used. Sometimes I used to think it was just part of the show too. It's a showman thing. But that's been his character from, like you said, from Pee Wee, Pop Warner. That's been his
Man, look,
character.
I tell anybody like this right here. Like I'm a diehard UM fan. But if you want to sit up here and say a generational talent, Dion was a generational talent at that time. It is. I'm not taking nothing away from him. You could
Absolutely.
play him on both sides of the ball, put him on special teams, and he would let you have it. He would give you the business. Come
Exactly.
on.
And
It-
you know what? A lot of people don't realize Dion played with little wide receiver in the NFL too, and he played too.
Exactly. He played both sides of the
He
ball.
played both sides of the ball, and I heard him talking about it. He said, at one season he had over 100 catches.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, man, I
And
I didn't realize that.
if I'm not mistaken, that was with if it wasn't with Atlanta, it was with Dallas.
It had to be, yeah.
I think
I'm
it was with
thinking,
Dallas.
yeah,
It-
yeah.
I think it
I'm
was
not
with
sure which team
Dallas.
it was either, but just the fact that he was able to do that and then turn around and be in my opinion, the best cornerback ever to play the game of football ever.
Yeah.
He would take
Who?
outside of. He was the only guy that I knew or
Who?
seen that would take up.
Ever?
He'll take away half the field. Teams
Ever?
wouldn't even. They wouldn't
Oh.
even ever. And ever, ever,
Listen.
ever, ever,
Oh,
ever, ever.
that's a lot.
Nah, I'm
No, no,
telling
no,
you.
like granted, now listen, I'm gonna be real with you. Now, is Dion in my top two, my top three? Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, you know what?
Hold
Cornerbacks,
up,
yeah. You
hold
know,
up,
now,
hold up.
now, if you want to say, DB, I'm thinking about DBs in general. Cornerbacks, yes, I give you that. I
Well,
would give you that.
he wasn't no safety, but I know people hit the knock on Dion. He ain't gonna tackle you. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna hit nobody. But Dion will tell you. How often did you see somebody run him over?
That's what I just about to say. You don't got to worry about DL taking a hit in the tackle because he gonna take the ball and go the other way.
Exactly.
Majority of the time.
Exactly.
Come
He ain't
on,
gonna
let's
be.
be
They gonna
honest.
have to try to
Majority of
count.
the time.
You're right. They're gonna have to try to tackle him. And but to me, you say you say he wasn't the best ever.
Well, no. I'm just when I'm looking at as far as DBs as a whole, DBs. But when you talk about cornerbacks, I give you that. Yes, I agree. Dion is the best to ever play cornerback. Dion.
So when you say DBs, you obviously you count all the defensive back, the safeties too.
Right, you talking about safeties too.
But I don't care if you could stack it up in the DB line if you all day long, and he still was the
No, I
best.
can't say that.
Safeties were
I can't say
listen.
that. No,
Safeties was known for hitting.
listen. But
They
no,
wasn't
again, now you
safeties
talking
didn't
about
change the game.
now you talking about two different. You talking about two different safety. You talking about scroll safety and free safety.
Right?
Now, free safety. You
Listen,
looking at you got a lot of them out there, boy. I grew up watching him. He went to the U. Ed Reed. Ed Reed is a ball hawk. I
but
can't
he
take
ain't no
nothing from.
Deion Sanders.
No. Again, we talking about two different positions. We talking about two different positions.
I'm talking about we went general
No,
DBs.
DBs. Now, granted, now you talking about somebody that's just a ball hawk that's all over the field. That's Ed Reed. Now, if you want to talk about, like you said, locking down one side of the field that you could put on the island by himself. Yeah, Dion is that man. Him and Darrell Reeves. Them two?
Darrell Reeves ain't in a class with him.
No. But what I'm trying to say is that you locking them up. You talking about I'm putting them on the island.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, him and
Yeah.
Darrell Reeves. Yeah, you can put Darrell Reeves on the island by himself. You don't have to give him no help. He go check his man.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. What a lot of people didn't realize what Deion's strength was. We talk about a safety, maybe a free safety that's overseeing the whole field. Deion played free safety and cornerback from the cornerback position because he would play the whole field from his cornerback position. That's why he was able to get so many picks and take them the other way. He would play, and teams wouldn't even look his way. They wouldn't look his way. Dr. Reeves, yeah, he'll lock a man down. He'll lock you down man on man. And some of the other cornerbacks would have, were good at that. But Deion, I mean, he would be playing his man, and next time you look up, he intercepting the ball from something yo man.
And again, if you talking about Ed Reed was that same dude. Ed Reed, man, listen, go back and look at the tape. But again, like I said, we talking about Deion, right?
Right.
I'm just saying, just a DB in the whole, but we talking about Deion. Like I said, I'm not knocking Deion. Deion was that man. He's the GOAT of cornerbacks. If some people may say he's the GOAT in DBs in general, that's fine. Everybody has an opinion, right?
Right.
I'm not knocking him.
Right.
He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion. He's a Hall of Famer. Okay, hey, I ain't knocking you. I'm not knocking you at all. Listen, as much as I love you, I'm like Deion is that man, bro. Like even though he went to FSU, I don't care. Listen, Deion is in my top DBs in general. Deion is in my top 3. Absolutely.
Yeah,
He's in my top 3.
I'm still trying to figure out who your number 1 and 2 is then, because he say top 3.
He's in my top 3. Like I said, we talking about DBs in general. Like I said, again, for me, you remember I was born in the 80s. I was born in 85. So I don't remember Deion's whole career, far as up until me watching games and me have to go back and actually look at things and of that nature. But far as I remember, and if you had for me to actually sit down and actually take a pick, I'm going again. Deion is in my top 3. Hold on, give me a second.
All right.
I'm gonna go with Ed Reed as far as DBs in the general. I gotta go with Ed Reed, Deion, and I want to say Rod Woodson. Yeah, I'm going Rod Woodson in my top 3.
Okay, well, you like you said, everybody's got their opinion
Hey, that's
regarding
my
that.
opinion,
Hey,
right?
and what did I say in my opening monologue? Opinions are like what?
Right. I'm just saying those are my top three like DBs. I'm talking about just DBs in the whole.
Right?
But like I said,
I get you. I get you.
now
I
you
get
was
you.
because if you
But
were talking about strong safety, that's a whole totally different story.
well, strong safeties, their position there is first of all, don't let nobody get behind you.
I
It wasn't
gotta go.
nobody getting behind Dion. So
Listen,
they ain't have to worry about that side of the field.
right, but if you talking about strong safety, I gotta go with Sean Taylor and I gotta go with Troy
No,
Polamalu.
no, no. You see, you coming. Okay. Now you telling your age. You telling how young you is. You don't
No,
remember.
but
You don't remember.
granted, and we talking about again. You're right. No, I'm just talking about that's my, you know what I mean, mine,
Right,
because
right,
that's what
right.
I done
Okay.
grew up on. You know what I
I
mean.
gotta
Far as
respect that. I gotta
we talking
respect
about
that.
strong safeties, like how many dominant strong safeties are actually out? Like even in the '90s, strong safeties, not free. How many strong safeties were dominant? Where they were when you come across them, they'll tear your head off.
Yeah, you know what? But unfortunately, the rules now
Oh yeah,
where they
it's
can't
soft.
tear your
Come on,
head off.
soft. It's
Back in the
soft.
day, you see, now I would put Mel Blunt ahead of
Oh, I forgot about him.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
You
he's
you forgot about
nasty.
the real killers and
He was
stuff in
nasty.
that
He was nasty.
position. And running lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those guys would put Reeves. They would put any of those free safeties or strong safeties. Those guys are secondary to those guys.
Ronnie Lott could play two. Well, he could play three positions. And listen, you could put Ronnie Lott at the linebacker position if you wanted to. That right
Exactly.
side linebacker, the left
Exactly.
side,
Exactly.
he'll tear your head off. He'll be able to work the
Exactly.
best of them.
Exactly. And and running them guys wasn't no joke. I'm saying,
No, you're right.
they
You're
were gonna
right.
lay some wood on you. And really Mel Blunt is actually he changed the rules in the league for that rough house type of tackling and hit when he paralyzed Daryl Stingley. You know that hit he put on Daryl Stingley
Yeah,
changed the
I
rules.
seen the I seen
It
the highlight.
changed the
I seen the
rules and stuff. And
replay.
so those guys couldn't be as vicious as they were. But these guys nowadays, and the rules got a lot to do with it too now because
Yeah,
you can't
you
barely
can't
touch
hit.
somebody and then
Man,
it's a personal foul. So,
man, listen. To be
but
honest with you, like I said, this era of football is so I ain't gonna say sissified, but it's I get you trying to protect the players, but you also taking away the excitement. I can't if I see you come across the middle, I can't tag you the way I want to tag you because I'm scared I'm gonna get a doggone what it is
flagrant foul.
not flagrant the
Uh,
helmet.
oh yeah,
You know what I'm talking about,
yeah,
not the
yeah. I know the
flagrant
helmet. I forget what the
targeting. I'm scared I'm gonna get a targeting call.
yeah. And to me, that's one of the most bogus calls in the football because you constantly dealing with movement. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? You're constantly
right.
dealing with movement, and so you and I might be coming head on for one another, but at some point you're gonna either try to duck or I'm gonna try to duck. So at some point with that
And
point of
right,
contact, you're not
right.
targeting because you got a constant motion. Uh, who the hell is this? Hold
If
on
I'm
a
trying to
second.
tackle you and you see I'm trying to go for, I'll wait till you done.
Yo, what's going on? Nah, man, I'm doing a show. You need to tune in to my YouTube channel and add some comments to it. You, huh? Tune in, and then I'll add some comments to it. I'm on the air live right now. All right, but yeah, man. Yeah. You can't even sneeze on nobody. And the way they got it set up for quarterbacks now is ridiculous. It's
Right,
ridiculous. You can't even sneeze on them and without getting a flagrant a
you
flag thrown
can't.
against you and stuff. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But we talk about some of the all time greats, cornerbacks and the safeties. But like I said, those guys before the people that you named, them guys were beasts.
Oh
They
no!
were
Again,
beasts.
you talking about a different era, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
yeah,
sure my age. Like I said, I was born in '85, right? So a lot
yeah.
of it, you know what I
Hey,
mean, was before my time, and you know what I mean. Like I said, I wasn't growing up watching them like that.
right.
So, but I do remember the Ronnie Lots. I do remember the Rod
You,
Woodsons. I remember them, but can I sit up and say I'm going to put them in my top? I can't. They're in my top 10. I do have a lot of the old guys in my top 10, But a lot of the people that I have in my top, they're some of them. They're,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? They're some of them are from the '80s, early '90s. Some of them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like greatest wide receiver, we already know who it is. It's Jerry Rice.
Right.
Come on,
Yeah. 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 And
come
see, and
on.
Ronnie Lott played with Jerry Rice.
Right, he played
He
for San
played with
Fran.
him and what is it? Merlin Hanks, was it cornerback, or was it Merlin Hanks? The dude that always used to do this dance, like,
I think it is. You about to make me look it up. I think it
yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah.
I
He
think
was a
it
bad
is.
boy too. I mean, to me, those guys were much better than the DBs and the corners and the safeties than these guys are nowadays. To me, those guys were much more skilled, much more physical, and they can run with you too,
But
and then they can
you're
knock your
talking about
head off.
physicality, right? A lot of the physicality have a lot to do with the game today.
Yeah, it does. It
A lot of
does.
it has a lot to do with the game today. Now, can I sit up here and say that, well, that right now some of the players that were, let's just say, in the 2000s up until now, can they not play with the guys that was in the 90s? I can't say that. Because I can name a couple of backs that'll give some of these defensive fits in the back in the 80s. Adrian Peterson was that man. You can
Now,
sit up.
listen,
Come on.
it was a few of them. It was a
It's
few
a,
of
it's a
them.
few of the, it's a
Listen,
few backs that'll give some defense. I'm talking about some linemen, linebackers, and safety some fits.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah. It was a few of them.
It's a
Hey,
few of
listen,
them.
Eddie George was one of them boys that was
Right.
coming at you, boy. You wouldn't half stepping when Eddie George was
Listen,
coming at you.
one of the wide receivers, if he wouldn't have never got hurt, he's going to the Hall of Fame. Megatron. Let Megatron would have been in that era. He would have killed. You talking
Yeah,
about 6'6", 6'7", running the 4.3 in the
yeah.
40?
Megatron. You know who remind me of Megatron
Who?
is that receiver for Seattle. Um,
Oh, you talking about number 14, Metcalf.
that guy. He remind me of Megatron.
He
He
just
built.
don't.
He faster
Megatron.
than Megatron, I think.
No,
Nah.
Megatron. Go back and look. You research it. Megatron ran a 4.340
Mm.
at that size. Ran a
Yeah, he was
4.340.
big. He was big. He was
Talking about
big. Well,
big, like you about to make me look it up. I think he was what 225 pounds,
he was
230.
big.
He was big. He was like 6'6", 6'7".
And like I say, that's well. See, remember Metcalf is they're
Yeah,
talking about Metcalf. He trying out for the Olympic team.
Yeah, he's trying out, but again, Metcalf is not in that 4.3 area like Megatron.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he run
He's not.
in
He
that
wasn't
40.
in that range. I think that right now, if Calvin was on another team besides Detroit, I think that his career would have been longer.
Well, he retired early. I don't
He
think it was from
retired. He was
injury.
hurt.
He was
The
hurt.
offense ran through him.
He was. I mean, for some reason, those guys that that was great on the cusp of being great. Barry Sanders, he said, "Hell with this." Both of them played in Detroit, so it must be something in the water.
Right. But listen,
I don't know.
as we all know, Barry ran. For him to put up the numbers that he put up, he ran against the worst offensive line in the league. I went
Yeah,
back and looked at the numbers. Like I said, I wasn't I wasn't that age when he was actually doing. I came in on. I was up in age when he at the tail end of his career. But like I said, when you go back and look at it, his offensive line was horrible.
yeah. He had. Listen, he had to have all them damn moves just to get away, just to
Right.
keep himself safe. That's why Barry developed all those moves
Come
from
on.
because
Because
his
if he would have
offensive
had the
line wasn't
half,
blocking
if he
nobody.
would have had the half a line that Emmett had, oh man, come on, man. Emmett right now would probably wouldn't even be leading the NFL right now in rushing. Because if I'm not mistaken, Barry is in the top 10.
Yeah,
Barry is in the top
he cut his
10.
career short. Barry said, "Hell with this shit. I'm tired of getting beat up out here." And I mean, I done put more moves on the mug than X-Lax makes you put moves. And
Right.
he said, "I'm done." But yeah, that's you see some greats actually get out of the game a lot sooner than they really need. But I ain't gonna say needed to.
I think Barry was
But
just tired.
oh,
He was just
these
tired.
mofos want to call me. I'm gonna put him on. Yo, man, what's up?
Give me a sec.
Hey, my brother.
Oh, I'm your brother now, huh? Come on, speak. I need you to speak louder too, because I'm on the air right now, and I want to hear what kind of
Okay, well,
BS you got to say, huh?
hey, go ahead and stay on there. I'll call you back.
No. You come on and get on the air with me, so I can put you on up front and we can see that big head of yours.
I ain't ready to get on the air, right?
Yes, you are. Where you at, the crib?
Yeah, I'm at the crib.
Listen.
I missed your call because I was over my neighbor house, helping him move something.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me listen. I'm going.
Yeah.
Listen. You can still join on and get some comments. You know, listen that we what we chatted up about, and I can send you a link where you can actually be on the screen with us for a minute, just for a minute.
Oh, Bigo, you got me, boy. I ain't lying. I'm in my PJs right now.
You ain't what?
It's cold. Hey, it's just like mine out up here in the panhandle of Florida, brother.
Oh, really? Is that?
Oh,
Well, yeah. It's supposed to get cold. It's supposed to get cold down here.
Yeah. It is cold as a witch's. You know what up here, but
Yeah.
I ain't lying.
Yeah. It's supposed to get cold and stuff.
But you on the air now, whatever. Okay, well, damn, man. Why don't you let your brother give you a rain check on that one?
Oh, look here, boy. Look here. I got a better chance of it raining in the Sahara Desert.
Well, hey, you, as they say, you know you are my brother because I am honorary loan.
Listen. It's like, listen, man, listen. You stop all that yitty yada, okay, and all that bitter chatter, and get on the phone. And because I got one of my boys on the phone here with me, man. We just chopping it up a little bit about some of the old school running backs. We talked a little bit about Deion Sanders, and we gonna hit up.
Hey, we'll send me the link and whatnot, and I'll get on. I guess the next time or whatever, brother.
No, it ain't gonna be no next time. What you talking about?
Get me on right now?
Huh?
You gonna get me on now?
Yeah.
All right, well, go ahead and get me on. I ain't gonna stay on long.
You don't have to. We're just gonna get in here and chime in a little bit.
Okay, let me chime in a little bit then. Okay.
You know. Let me ask you this though, because I know you old school. You think you're gonna be able to get to your internet and get to the email, or you got somebody to show you? Go get your grandkids and so they can show you how to get on the email, internet.
Well, see, that's the thing. All my grandkids have moved away, man. They up in the great north. They done moved to Virginia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. My son got a job offer up there, and they booked about 3 months ago.
Okay, all right. Well, listen, I'm gonna send you an email. It's gonna be an invite, and all you gotta do is tap on it, and it'll bring you straight to the station. And then when I see it, then I'll just bring you on a little bit, and we'll talk a little bit more because we got a couple of. We just actually went live about 30 minutes ago, so we haven't been on very long. And,
right. Okay.
And then if you have any issues, just hit me back up. But I'm gonna send you this. I got your email address, right?
Right. Funktime24. At gmail.com.
What kind of time?
Funk time, brother.
What time is it?
Funk time. FUNKTIM. You know what time it is, Bingo. You was brought up in the funk.
All right. So yeah. So
next time I see your name as Andera, I ain't gonna answer. I'm used to Bingo Long.
Well, good. Hey, listen, don't be giving out my name. I'm trying to remain anonymous and stuff. I don't want nobody be trying to Facebook me and look for me. You know that.
All right, brother. I got you. Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna Mac Nasty, and then I'm gonna go ahead and shoot you this email right quick, Mac, and then let me know once you get it, just tap on the link. It'll bring you straight here. If I don't hear from you in 5 minutes, I'm calling you back. And don't give me that crap about your phone wasn't charged or none of that crap. Or none of that.
Fully charged. I told you I was next door and whatnot, so I'm good to go, brother.
I know you're good. I ain't even worried about that.
All right. Okay.
All right. I'll hit you up. Give me a sec.
All right.
Woo. Yeah, man. Shoot, let's see here. That was my boy Mac Nasty. We call him Mac Nasty, the filthy funky Mac Nasty. And he and I was in the military together actually, and he's up in Pensacola right now. And this dude here,
up there.
Yeah, he's something else, man. It's crazy the things that some of the things that we experienced while we was in the military. And I always said, man, a lot of people frown on the military, but if I had to do it again, I would do it again. And I think military should be at least mandatory, like it is in a lot of foreign countries, at least 2 years mandatory for everybody in this country. And I know people, bitched and raised all kind of hell about the draft, this, that, and the other. But I'm telling you, man, it would. I think it would do so much good for a lot of the youth. That's the way they're coming up nowadays. I mean, if nothing else, you learn responsibility and you learn discipline, and that's what we lacking as, especially as a people. You know what I'm saying? We lacking big time in the area of responsibility and basically responsibility along with being what I want to say. I don't know, responsible is a big word, but a big term to be able to use and be able to actually um, um, fulfill. And so with that, the discipline comes with it. And I think because and it's a little bit off subject of what we've been talking about, but I think a lot of the problems we have is because of the lack of discipline that our young people are dealing with when as they come up, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that a lot of them don't have that man in the house. Mom been doing great, grandma and them been doing great, but they cannot. I repeat, they cannot replace the presence of a man. They
It's
can't.
not just it's not just responsibility for me. It's more about accountability also.
Oh, oh,
you
oh
can't
yeah,
you can be responsible all you want, but if you can't take accountability for your actions and knowing when you're wrong and when you're not wrong, that's the issue that we have as a whole. I mean, knowing when you're wrong and for you to just humble yourself, be like, you know what, I was dead wrong. We don't
hmm
take accountability. You know what I mean? Some of us don't take accountability for our actions, but we
right.
wasn't taught. We wasn't taught that.
That was going to be my next question. Can we take something that we don't know of? Can you expect us to be able to do something that we're not aware of how to do it? Can you really honestly expect that?
Right.
You know. So, but yeah, man. I'm trying to go ahead and put him in here and send him this email. See if he want to try to chime. Oh, come on, Kate. Okay, let me do that. But yeah, man. But, back to what we was talking about in regards to Megatron, them guys, and all those guys that retired. And one guy I wanted to mention to you. We talked about that these DBs nowadays don't want to see. They don't even attempt to try to tackle this cat. It was that was uh you know what? I don't even have an email address from here. That's why it ain't coming up. Hmm. It was Earl Campbell. You know what I'm saying? You remember him?
Yeah.
Earl Campbell, bless his soul, man, because he took so much he took so much punishment that he didn't realize the long lingering effect that it was going to have on him. And it got to a point once he retired, man, Earl Campbell could barely walk. And so in that regards, it was so physical and brutal that the players weren't even thinking about their futures, and once they retire from football, and how functional they will be in life. And there's so many of them, man. That it just knocked 10, 15 years off their life, and they didn't realize it. But yeah,
But you
man,
say
it's
you talking about backs, right? You talking about now you talking about running backs. You know what I mean? That's
uh
why right now the average running back lifespan in the NFL is like 7 years.
yeah,
That's it because they take
yeah.
so much of a punishment because they're the ones that's getting hit a lot. When you get the ball, you're getting hit. You pass blocking, you're getting hit. You're taking a hit more than anybody is taking a hit. And we ain't talking about no offensive lineman hit, no, going to, you talking about no, you getting tackled to the ground. You taking a hit. You getting thought.
I didn't get it unless I missed it.
Hold on a second, Brandon. You know what? I don't have an email address for you. I'm just looking at my phone. I thought I had an email address.
Bingo. Now you should have one because I ain't been long. Let me see. Funktime24@gmail.com. You supposed to have one of those. I have that, rather.
Funk time. At,
Funktime24@gmail.com.
that's old school. Like I mean, that's serious old school.
That's serious old school. What you think? I'm old school, Bingo. I'm even an old man now.
Okay.
Shit, boy, I just turned what? I just turned 72 2 months ago.
Damn, you are old.
Yeah, hey, what did I just tell you, my brother?
Damn. Okay. All right. Not a problem. Not a problem. Well, you still holding it down, I'm sure, funk time. You know what I'm saying? Hold
I'm
up.
holding it down. I'm trying, B. Go ahead.
They
Go ahead,
I mean, they telling me that address ain't found, funk time.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You know what? Text it to me.
Okay.
Text it to me.
All right.
All right.
I'll do that. Okay.
Yeah, he don't. I mean, I don't know about that email address. I don't know where he get that from. But you know what? I tell you, just Brandon. Oh, he stepped away. But yeah, Funk Time, Mac. I don't know if you guys out there remember. Some of you probably do. Back when the minivans, not the minivans, but the cargo vans were the thing. Everybody got them customized. All the vans were customized, and this brother he had one. It was laid out, and they called it the gangster funk. The paint job on it was on point. The interior decorating on I mean, it was on point, and that's why they called him the filthy funky Mac Nasty, because of the layout that he had with his van. And we took a few road trips in that van for shizzle, and it was always good. But anyway, we got a new star on the scene. Now you gonna do like these athletes. Now you're bringing your kids to the
Man,
podium.
listen, she was in there hollering. I'm like, let me go get her.
I didn't hear her.
Now, I know you ain't here because she was in the room with her sister.
Oh, she want to get on the air. Hey, you want to get on the air? You want to talk? No, yeah, she just wanted. Listen, she wanted you to come get her because she heard you.
Right.
She heard you making all that noise. She said, "I gotta go see what's going on here." Look at her. Uh, how old is she?
She won.
One. Okay. What's her
Yeah, she
name?
won. Nova.
Nova.
Yeah,
Nova.
Look.
Hey, Nova. What's going on, Nova?
T.
Look at you. Oh, she got that smile on her. Yeah, man. But so yeah, he's gonna text me his
Email address.
yeah. But I tell you though, man. With that being said, I know we done talked a lot about Dion and stuff, but we haven't touched. And I want to ask you though this before we roll. Do you know that you had a guy, a cornerback, I think he was, that had signed with them already. Let me see what was his name. And his mom withdrew him from the signing.
So you talking about Kamari McLean? So
oh, that's the one you was talking about earlier with his dad.
No. That was Kamari Rogers. He played last year for us, but then he transferred out. So what ended up happening, based on the reports, it's a couple of reports that's out. He committed to the U. Like, I want to say like a month ago, but you know what I mean. There were reports saying that Coach Prime got into it the day of the signing, of signing. So they're waiting. Then it's another report saying, well, the NIL deal that was actually the amount that was talked about was not the amount that was actually on the NIL letter or whatever. So there's a lot of reports out. There's a lot of speculations, but there's also speculation saying that, well, he's 100% on Miami. He's not going nowhere else. For me, with or without this kid, if you want to be at the U, you want to be at the U. If you don't, if you're just doing it for clout, or you're trying to get as much money for the NIL, I don't want you, because what's going to end up happening anyway is that the next following year you're gonna end up leaving anyway. You're gonna end up leaving anyway.
Exactly. And the way like I said, the way things are set up with this NIL and these guys getting, I think it's just going to ruin college football, man. And
it ruined it already, because that's why a lot of people leaving. Yeah. Listen, have you ever seen this many transfers leave from the University of Alabama? Alabama had at least 8 to 9. I'm gonna say at least 10 players leave in the transfer portal. I never seen that. Never.
Yeah, I mean, maybe because it wasn't as prevalent in the past until they start paying these guys, and now rightfully so. I think college players should get paid.
You
They should
know,
have been getting paid a long time ago.
for me, you know
And
what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where a lot of the schools, they're like, well, oh, I don't agree with NIL, but then I'm like, Georgia, Alabama, y'all been doing it for years. Y'all was just doing it under the table. Now that everybody else now have rights to do it, now you're seeing that a lot of those top recruits that would normally go to Georgia, Alabama, they're not going anymore. They're going to other places because the bag is more at other, you know what I mean, at another school.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, you go where the money's at, and not only that, like you said. And listen, you go to Alabama as a freshman, you probably got to sit for the first 2 years because usually their players are coming out in their sophomore year. They play 2 years and they hit the pros. So you got a chance. You got to have to sit for 2 years.
Listen. I don't know how much you've been following Alabama, but Alabama has built a dynasty. I remember at one point you had Mark Ingram. I think Najee Harris was a true freshman. It was you had a plethora of backs where they actually waited. This is before NIL. This is before the transfer portal. So you had backs that actually waited their turn. Not even just to go off of Alabama. Look at Miami. That 2001 year. You had Frank. You had Frank Gore. You had McGahee. You had no matter of fact. I'm sorry. You had Clinton Portis. You had Frank Gore. You had McGahee. You had Jared Payton. You had Tyrone Moss. You had a plethora of backs in that running back room, but they all sat and waited their turn. Nowadays, kids don't know. They don't embrace competition. They don't.
No, they don't
They
take no
don't.
patience from it. 'Cause you know what? They want the fast track to get to the NFL. They want to
Right.
maybe go do 1 year of college, but they gotta have to do more, at least two. I think the rule now is you got to do at least 2 years of college before you eligible for the
Huh?
NFL. So I mean, can you blame them though? That's the thing. Can you really blame them? I want to get paid too. You know what I mean? And because one injury away from being ruining your college career, one injury away. And so I really don't blame them, because colleges have been making money off of them for years.
But
You
again,
know,
here's my take, and I agree with you. College has always made money off of them for years, right? But at the end of the day, what are you going to school for? You're going to school for technically academics. Yeah, playing football, that's a recreational sport, right? So granted, look at it in that aspect. Because at the end of the day, for the people that can't play sports, or the ones that get hurt and can't continue on their football career, now you go back, you fall back on your academics.
well, you say it's a recreational sport for the athlete, yes, but it's a business for the schools.
Well,
It's
I'm
a
talking about
business.
but again, we talking about for the school, and I agree with you. Again, I'm not disagreeing, but how it's also been portrayed. At the end of the day, it's to the point, yeah, you making money off of the players, which they've been doing that for years. I'm not, and again, I'm not knocking it, but when I'm knocking it is the amount you paying some of these kids six figures, and some of them feel as though, okay, well, I had some quarterbacks feel as though I had this year at this school. Let me jump into the transfer portal and go to the next school and make more money because this school they don't have enough NIL money that I see other kids making at other schools. Come on, make it
Yeah.
make sense. Right now, I don't know if you know. Go back to Deion Sanders. I don't know if you know, like when Deion Sanders got hired, there was a YouTube video that was out. Go back and look at the interview, and I can send you the link because I have the link. And they were saying, well, the amount that they actually offered Deion, they don't even have the at that time they didn't have the money to pay Deion his contract. And the AD actually said, well, yeah, I understand, you know what I mean, but we're gonna get the funds to actually pay Deion. Because when he got hired on as the coach, they didn't have the money, the salary to pay Deion. They didn't.
Hmm.
And the AD, the AD admitted on camera that, yeah, we got to get those funds. We're gonna have his funds. We're gonna get what he needs.
And where are those funds going to come from?
It's gonna have to come from the alumni. But
And
you
we
gotta
already
realize,
know the alumni ain't been they haven't been stepping up,
but
so they couldn't count on them.
but again, you gotta realize too, you're in the state of Colorado. Colorado is like, I want to say, if not the richest state, in the
Who
U.S.
knows? That's hey that
No, let's be real,
they
because Colorado, you realize Colorado is, I ain't gonna say the only. Colorado is, matter of fact, I want to say if not the only state where you can actually, where they can actually have, where you can sell marijuana legally, and you don't even have to have a medical card.
That's true. That's true. It started out.
So,
It started out. Colorado legalized it. We're one of the first states to legalize it.
right. So that's what I'm saying. They have, Colorado is a rich state. Don't sleep.
No, no,
So,
no.
and again, now we also do have some players that's in the NFL that came out of Colorado. I'm not saying just NFL, but you also got to think about the other academically, the doctors, the lawyers that came out of Colorado, things of that nature that actually give back to
Uh
that
huh.
to the university.
Right. Right. And yeah, listen, we know there's a whole lot of money buried up there in that snow. We know
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
We know that's a whole lot of money up that way. And the thing is you know they the thing is they're alumni, and I keep pointing back to the alumni, and I feel strongly for me, I feel strongly that we as a people, man, we count on somebody. We always count on somebody else to do something for us, and we not stepping up to the game. And alumni, not just for Jackson State, for all of the HBCU. You got so many people down here that went to HBCUs, and like I said, understand that they their contribution rate is about 7% of those that are actually eligible. I mean, that are alumni are actually contributing. And I understand. A lot of us probably only making, maybe if they're making $50,000 a year, that's great for them. If they making that much, could be 60, but it ain't like you said in Colorado. Those people
Come on,
sitting on
man.
the six figures a mil. You know what I'm saying? That's what their income look like.
Man, listen,
But at the same, but
Dion
at the
was in that
same time,
interview with Shannon. He was like, "Bro, I need one help." Shannon's like, I'm always here for deals. Like, well, I need one thing. You're like, boy, these houses are expensive in Colorado. Listen, bro, if you go and look at the market, Colorado ain't no joke. It's
really,
expensive.
I thought
It's
the
that,
houses were expensive down here.
bro. Colorado, you got to realize it's Aspen, Colorado, where everybody go to the big ski resorts up there. So when it snow, a lot of people go up there. It's a main attraction up that way, the big ski resort that's up there.
Uh huh.
It's a lot. And besides the marijuana thing, but other than that, it's a lot. That state gets a lot of money. A lot.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Because you're right. I kind of forgot that they were actually out front when it came to legalizing marijuana.
And if I'm
I
not
mean,
mistaken, that's a non-tax state.
I'm
I
not
gotta check.
sure.
I think if I'm not mistaken, they don't get hit with like city and state tax. They only get hit with just the state tax, like
Oh,
Florida.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. I wasn't aware of that. And I haven't heard anything regarding them. Like here in Florida, you know, you know, no, you're not paying no state taxes and stuff. So that's widely publicized, and so a
Right.
lot of people are attracted here for that reason, especially when you're talking about athletes uh, getting a situation where they ain't got to pay taxes on that contract. But I didn't know Colorado was
Yeah. If
tax
I
free
if
as
I
far
if
as
I, if I do go to Colorado, I don't got to deal with that snow. So yeah, I go somewhere else. I gotta deal with that crazy snow every year, because they get hit with snow every year.
oh
It's,
yeah, oh
it's
yeah, oh yeah.
every year.
But that snow that you can tolerate that snow. You can learn to live with it. The one thing about the weather is you can dress for the cold, but you can't dress for the heat. You can't undress for the heat
But
either.
again, you talking okay? It's a different type of snow, right? Georgia, South Carolina, they get a different type of snow than with New York and Colorado, Indianapolis, Buffalo. That's a totally different type of snow. Totally.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? To the point where you talking about January and February, it's still snowing up there in New York, Colorado, Indianapolis, it's still snowing. Down this way, down the south, nah, by the time March comes, the sun out, it ain't no more snow.
hmm yeah, yeah, definitely. That snow that usually hit the East Coast, Eastern Seaboard, it's usually wet. And
Right.
that stuff in Colorado, that's why they're able to actually keep those ski slopes open for so long during the season. But that's just a dry, almost powdery like snow. By the time it gets to the East Coast, and it's a wet cold. It's just like in Arizona, in parts of the Southwest. It's that dry heat. You talking about 110 degrees, but it's a dry heat. But you come out further out east, you get that all of a sudden that 90 degrees with humidity. It'll wear you down. It'll wear you down. So, but yeah, man, it's a different environment. No doubt about it. Yeah, no doubt about it. I still like I said, I'd much rather be in Florida than to be in Colorado. That's for doggone sure. You can keep me down here. I'll deal with the humidity. That's true. But yeah, so with that being said, man, you think I know they say I think as of yesterday that you had the number 4 recruiting class in the country at this point.
Yeah.
And
that's what the people sign. If Clamarte McClain actually signs, Miami will be easily number 3.
Okay.
Easily. Because right now, I forgot who. Yeah, because right now, whoever is in front of them. Now you about to make me go look it up.
You got.
It's whoever is in front of them. They're only in front of them. Like Miami is like 292.6, and whoever's in front of them is like 299.1. Or whatever. So if Clamarte McClain actually signs on the dotted line, they'll jump whoever it is in front of them.
What do you think? Where's Jackson State at this point as far as ranking for
they're not. You talking about division?
Not Jackson State. My bad. I'm talking about Colorado actually.
Oh man, Colorado. No, what I can say, I know that Colorado was nowhere. Colorado is like, well, they were. Let me look it up. Because when I looked at it when Deion first got there, they was like in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Deion brought a former 5-star. Actually, he brought 2. He brought a former 5-star, another 5-star. So they don't win up. They're not in the top 25 though.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you that they're not in the top 25.
So
it's gonna take at least Deion. If Deion can actually go there this year, and actually at least put up at least 5 wins. 6 wins. Let's just say he goes 6-6. That's progress. A lot of progress.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, coming from like you say in the 80s.
Right. So listen. We're not asking you to do what you did at Jackson State when you finna go undefeated, because we know that again. You finna play teams like Michigan State, Ohio State.
But they're in the I believe they're in the Pac-12. So those teams out there, and Michigan is in what, the Big Ten or something. I'm not like I say I don't follow college football that closely, but Colorado playing all those teams out west of Colorado, and so those teams they ain't quite as strong as those teams that you're mentioning, like Michigan and Michigan State and those teams along the Eastern Seaboard. Those teams are a little bit better as far as recruiting is concerned. But,
so they're in the Pac-12. So they play teams like, okay, so I take that back. So they play teams like Arizona, California, Oregon, Utah, Washington.
There we go.
He
got it. Hold on a second.
So again, you gotta play UCLA. You gotta play Oregon. You gotta play Utah. Utah is a good team.
Huh? Yeah. Oh, okay. Hey, look. Somebody snuck up in here on us.
The McNasty done snuck up in here.
Oh, the filthy funky. What's going on, boy?
Nothing much, man. I'm at the crib here, as they say, relaxing, and was enjoying some basketball, but now you guys done got my attention, so I'm here with you all now.
Oh, we got your attention now. Who was playing? Who was you watching anyway?
I was watching the Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Ooh, that should have been a good game. Who won?
That should have been a good one.
Yeah, it was kind of one-sided. Durant them is putting it on the Bucks, buddy. They beating them pretty good. They was leading when I stopped by 15 points.
Really?
It was in the third quarter.
Damn, the Nets.
They should be though. They should, because the only points that the Bucks got is Giannis.
Giannis,
I take Tupo.
and Milton wasn't even playing. So hey, they gonna beat them. The Nets are looking very good tonight. I ain't lying.
Well, I think they won what 5 or 6 in a row, 7 in a row.
Yeah.
They rolling.
They on a winning streak now. You right.
I need my Heat to come on and get it together, man. Come on.
I don't know, man, but I don't know what's going wrong with the Heat. The Heat, the Heat. It seemed like those two teams, and people don't put a whole lot of credence on it, but those two teams that played in the bubble championship 2 years ago are struggling more than anybody. Heat and the Lakers. They struggling more than anybody. It's almost like a psychological thing where they haven't gotten over that yet. That took a lot of mental strain and stress on them guys, and apparently it had. And the Clippers are kind of in that bag too. Those teams that were at the top in the bubble, those teams for some reason they're not clicking like they normally did before the bucket season, and they haven't recovered from it yet. I don't know what's wrong with the Heat. I really don't. I don't know. Is it talent wise? Maybe they don't have enough talent. I don't know. I don't know.
Answer this for me, Mr. Long. What's wrong with my Golden State Warriors, the defending champs? They ain't doing nothing. I'm gonna tell you.
Well, you're right. You're right. Golden State's struggling too. There's a lot of teams. Hey, I don't know, man. I don't know. Golden State, they're struggling. They're struggling bad.
They really. Because I'm a Heat fan and a Golden State Warrior fan. I like both of those teams.
Right. And with Golden State, and of course Steph is hurt now, but still, but they were struggling and they can't win a game on the road. Everybody talking about the Lakers, but ain't nobody talking. Well, I guess they're getting a little break because they won the championship last year.
No, you can't get them no break. You quote unquote got arguably the best player on the planet in LeBron. We already know LeBron is his 20th season, 21st season.
Yeah, you're right.
Or whatever. With Anthony Davis going out, the Lakers are done.
Yeah.
Lakers are done, bro.
Listen, if they get, it's a big if, like they say, if a frog had wings, he'd fly, keep from bumping his ass so much. But if the Lakers could stay healthy, I think they were starting to come around a little bit, and where they was balling now. You know what I'm saying? They had won 6 out of 8 games, and then boom.
But again, you're talking about health wise. If Anthony Davis is not healthy, I don't care if you have a healthy LeBron, who else you got on that team. If you don't have no big man in there that can solidify that paint.
Yeah. I agree.
even with his Golden State Warriors, without Steph, and those 3 big
Yeah, and what's his name? The other guy? Clay, he ain't been doing nothing all year.
And then you talking about you just paid Jordan Poole all his money.
Yep.
And he's not even doing his thing.
Absolutely. I agree.
Well, I mean, you know what? They got a year or two to kind of drop off because they just won the chip.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They can rest on that for another year or two.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so right now you're talking about rest on it, but you got to realize Clay and Steph and Draymond, they're what? Their 10th season?
Yeah. They what? 30?
They're technically in their prime.
Right.
And they don't have nothing else to prove. They already done won, what, 3? They won 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
They already done won 3. They don't really have nothing else to prove. They're going into we already know Steph and Clay going into the Hall of Fame. Draymond,
I don't know about Clay. I ain't putting Clay in no Hall of Fame right now. That's way too premature.
When they was on those first 2 title runs, without Clay, that team ain't. They're not gonna finish the finals.
You're right, because when they beat OKC, man, Clay was on a roll, wasn't it? You remember that? Yeah.
Now, if you want to say last year, Clay after that ACL and that Achilles, he hasn't been the same. Clay.
That's what I'm saying. He ain't gonna make the Hall of Fame off of 2 good seasons. No.
You talking about 2 good seasons. You talking about 2 good seasons, but we talking about as a career in whole. What he has done, those first 2 ships, he contributed. He contributed.
Oh, no doubt.
Especially defensively. Defensively,
yeah, he was a 2-way player.
Yeah, he's one of the best 2-way players.
He was.
No, okay.
Those injuries took his.
Yeah, that injury hurt him.
They slowed him down. He'll never be the same.
Right.
How many 2-way shooting guards that's actually? I'm talking about as a whole. There's only a couple. D Wade was a hell of a two-way player.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Clay. Who else?
Clay, listen. I ain't finna jump on Clay wagon
Who
like that.
else? I'm talking about all time.
Well.
Oh, Kobe. You can't forget Kobe. I'm sorry. Kobe was number one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jordan, we already know Jordan. Yeah, offensively, defensively, he'll lock you down. But is he a Kobe and D Wade? Not really.
Nope.
And I'm just being he the GOAT now.
And Clay don't belong in that category either.
No, I'm not saying GOAT wise, but far as a two-way player.
No, I'm talking about the names you mentioned. Clay, Clay don't belong ahead of those guys you mentioned.
No,
Wade,
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he belong ahead of them, but he's in that. He can sit at that table.
I don't know.
A two-way wise, absolutely. Two-way wise, yes.
He was a good two-way player for 2 years, but that ain't longevity. That ain't enough to put him in the Hall of Fame.
Him, Draymond, and Steph came in at the same time.
Yeah. And you said they won 3 chips. They won 4. You know, they had one before Durant got there.
Right. They had 2.
Okay, I know it was at least 3. Okay, so he just corrected me. So out of the 4,
yeah, they won 4.
Clay was a part of the 3. Oh yeah, because you're right. You was they had Bogut and Andre Iguodala before he got. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So 3 out of the 4.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving now that 4th one. I'm giving you the 4th one. The 4th one that was just last year. He was just coming off the injury.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to take nothing away from him for the first 3. I can't. I can't.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, the injury he took a lot from his two-way game. You're right, but his shooting game has not been the same since the injury either.
Absolutely,
it hasn't been the same. So I ain't trying. I ain't trying to say he's a slouch now, but he ain't no Hall of Famer. He ain't no Hall of Famer.
But guess what? He's going to get into the Hall of Fame.
Well,
he's going to go.
Damn near everybody in the NBA get into the NBA Hall of Fame.
That's not true. That's not
damn
true.
near everybody. Yeah, they passing those out like food stamps. Please, come on,
man, come on. He's got okay. So, but again, you're taking away from that 1 year, which was last year, even probably this year, because I haven't been watching a lot of the NBA this year. But
not to cut you off there, sir, but listen, I would like to backtrack a minute. Bingo, before I got on, you said you guys was talking about Deion Sanders or whatnot.
Right.
So what were you guys feeling? My feeling on him leaving, if I may interject my opinion on it, I thought he should have stayed at least another year or 2 at Jackson State.
Why? Thank you, Brandon. Oh, by the way, Mike, that's Brandon. Brandon, that's the filthy funky Mac Nasty. Yeah, he always say, I don't know how much he the filthy funky now. I don't know how nasty he is now. He done got nasty old on us and stuff.
I done slowed down since I done got older. You know, I'm a senior citizen. Stop.
Yeah, hey, you slowed down. You ain't have no choice.
Oh man. So why you feel as though he should have stayed at least 1 more year? I gotta hear it.
Because, you know, he had brought the HBCU more or less back to the forefront, or to the forefront, I should say. And I think he should have stayed there at least another year to see if they couldn't get more like professional, ex-professional football players to, you know, coach at some of these HBCUs, you know. And I think just by him being there, you see, he was instrumental, and I won't say instrumental, but he was the cause of, what's this guy name that went to Tennessee State, I think, the running back?
That's Eddie George.
Eddie George, right. You know, him and Eddie George, 2 professional football players, and Deion, you know, baseball as well. But right. They had started something, or Deion had.
Let the dogs out.
He stayed another year. It would have brought some more, you know, ex-professional football players to coaching the HBCU.
That's not for me. For me, I just feel as though he laid the blueprint out.
Blueprint. You're right.
So now remember, like you just said, Deion got hired at Jackson State.
Right.
Then a year later, Eddie George went into coaching at Tennessee State.
Right.
So again, it's not like that. I would think that if Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, if all of them wanted to coach, any HBCU would take them.
Right. I agree.
Any.
Right.
Because you're talking about Ray Lewis is going to have the marketability. Ed Reed is going to have the marketability. Any Hall of Famer that has, even Emmitt Smith, if he wanted to get into it. So now look at it from a different standpoint. The reason why Deion continued his coaching career, for him, if you go and look back at the interview that he had with Shannon Sharp, he told him in the interview, he was like, after my sons graduated high school, like I was technically ready to hang it up. Okay. He said my coaching career would have been done. He said it wasn't until my team started saying that, oh, we getting calls now from colleges about you going to the next level. If it wasn't for that, Deion would have been done coaching.
Done.
He would have been done.
Okay.
So then when he had an opportunity, in the interview, he said that he had 2 positions from 2 Power 5 schools. He didn't name them. 2 Power 5 schools, and then Jackson. He took the Jackson role.
Right.
Now, I don't know how much you know about the contract and everything that he took with Jackson State.
I don't know anything about the contract. Nothing.
Okay, so out of the per year, he get paid $1 million per year.
Okay.
For Jackson State.
For Jackson, okay.
Out of that, he took half his salary and actually put back into Jackson State to get the facilities, the locker room, the uniforms, all that good stuff.
Ooh, well, see,
upgraded.
I wasn't aware of that. Okay.
Oh, you need to watch that video then.
So
what's the name of that video again, Brandon?
He could go if he go to YouTube and just type in Club Shay Shay with Deion Sanders. It's an hour and a half. It's an hour and a half interview with Deion Sanders and Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp,
or whatever.
Yeah,
he breaks down everything, which I had already knew about the contract and everything. But another thing is that in Jackson State in the contract, they were saying that, if every game you sell out, you give me 30% to go towards the football team. Not in my pocket, but towards the football team.
Right.
Now you telling me out of 3 years, I went 25 and I'm gonna just say 6. Okay. That was my record. 3 years. You trying to tell me I didn't have a sellout? I didn't have not one sellout game, and I know the stadium was packed. Not one.
Yeah.
Besides that, how many times my office done got broken into? My son cars done got broken into.
When he first got there, what they do? They steal his chains.
Right. They steal his chains out of his office.
Out of his office.
Yeah.
Of that now. Okay, I'm gonna have.
Oh man, you got to watch that, baby. I watched some of it. I didn't watch it all, but I'm gonna finish that up. But you got to watch that to hear Deion's side of the story. He was more exposing more because him and Shannon are tight. Him and Shannon are like brothers. They tight, and it was an exclusive. Deion didn't get that interview to nobody else but Shannon.
Right?
Nobody else. And so he laid out some things, man. And we already know corruptness can get you from anywhere. Yeah. And it can hit you from anywhere. And like you said, man, when you watch some of those games from Jackson State, man, you had Negroes on top of each other in those stadiums. Like I said, I thought the capacity was more than 30,000, but apparently
it was 30,000. It was 30,000. That's the capacity at that stadium.
And they tried to say, whoever they is, that he never sold out a game. That's what they're saying. They never sold out a game to get to 30,000 in order to give him that additional
money. So that's why I asked you about. That's why I asked him about like why you felt that way, because I'm like, everything that he out of the 3 years, everything that he said he was gonna do, he did.
He did it.
Right.
He exceeded expectations.
Right. He exceeded expectations. Right.
He exceeded expectations. And I tell you, man.
So now that the man want to move on, it's not even the fact that he want to move on. He want to try to give not only his kids that are still in school that are athletes, he want to give other kids the opportunity to get that spotlight put on them. Because at Jackson, he had to beg NFL scouts just to come in and look at his kids.
Is that right? I thought he automatically would show up to, especially HBCU.
No. They be trying to distance themselves. They've been distancing themselves from HBCUs for years, but nobody. You got some top notch coaches in HBCU. You got guys that can coach. Okay, right. They not just straight high school coaches. You got guys in HBCU that can coach, but they just didn't have the clout that Deion brought into that
Yeah,
league.
exactly. Look at the coach from FAMU and North Carolina Central, Southern.
Yeah.
Those are good coaches. I'm not taking nothing away from those They are great coaches. They had great seasons.
Mm-hmm.
They had it. FAM only lost 2 games. They lost to Jackson State, and they lost to Jackson State twice.
Yeah.
Right. And
Southern
Deion
lost
said
to Jackson State twice.
he did say they was one of the best teams in the SWAC for sure.
So at the end of the day, it's to the point where it's like those coaches. Can we say that they got to get the same opportunity as Deion? No, Deion is a 3-time Super Bowl champion. He's a Hall of Famer.
Right.
And he's going to bring a lot more money into whatever school he's at.
Oh yeah, and he no doubt can recruit.
Yeah, of course he gonna recruit.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, once you see that video, and like I said, I saw portions of it. There's a lot of haters out there for Deion. I don't know if it's just jealousy or what.
Man, it's just the crab in the bucket mentality, man.
The crab in the bucket.
That's the way I look at it. That's the way I look at it.
Exactly, and that pisses me off about us as a people.
Oh man, big time.
You know what I'm saying?
we over that, man, for some reason. I don't know why.
It's a psychological chain that and we do it. I mean, we're so engulfed in it that we don't even realize that we're doing it.
Right.
We don't even, that's how powerful it is. We don't even realize that, man. Boy, look here, the designer of that plan.
Mm-hmm.
And the designers continue to execute that plan, but he's got to a point now. You don't even have to put his hands on us. He make us put our hands on each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he makes us. Well, when I say he, I'm not gonna say.
I know who you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but anyway, it's got to a point where we doing our own damage. We doing our own damage to each other. And boy, what perfect way to have it. As an enemy, what perfect way to have it. I mean, and a perfect example of that, man. Obviously, it's a travesty, and it's something we've been battling for years and years and years.
Right.
Where we got people that's been put in place to protect and serve. Are the ones that we got to be almost most fearful of. But the reality of it is, we got to be most fearful of ourselves. Because we're killing each other.
Thank you.
Way more than the cops are killing us.
Right. You hit the
we thinking it's okay, but when let a cop kill one of us, man, look at here. But when you stop to take a look, what's really going on here?
Yeah.
What's really going on? And we're dying every day. We got little kids dying in our neighborhoods every day from stray bullets.
Right.
It ain't from the cops' guns. I mean, every now and then the cops, they'll shoot up a place.
Right.
But the things that we're doing to each other, man, and that's why I feel, the situation with Deion, those are straight haters. That man he was in there trying to do good, and I mean, he had to start with Jackson State. But like you said, a lot of people said, and I agree, if he'd have stayed there for 4 or 5 years, it would have been much better. But who else is stepping up?
Well, technically, he didn't have to start with Jackson State, but I'm glad that he did start with Jackson State.
Right, he didn't have to.
He didn't have to. He could have went, because to be honest with you, he interviewed with Florida State, but Florida State was like, "Nah, you didn't want your alumni. Now if Mike Norvell would have got fired from Florida State, if he had the season that he had, trust and believe Florida State would have been knocking that Deion door."
Yeah, because he did turn around that season for Florida State. I mean, they were much better this year than they were in the last 4 or 5 years.
He didn't have a choice. This was his make or break year. If he didn't go to a bowl game, beat Miami and all that, Mike Norvell was gone. He saved his own butt this year. Was his recruiting class the best? Absolutely not. They can't get nobody. They can't get no top recruit. They got 1 5-star this year. That was the wide receiver, Hakeem. I want to say Hakeem Nicks or Hakeem something. But nevertheless, he saved his butt this year with the record that they had, only losing 4 games, 3 or 4 games this year, and they got a bowl game this year.
Well, listen, I didn't get the score. Or did Jackson State play for the championship? The SWAC?
They lost. They lost in overtime.
They did? Who?
They lost. Yeah, the North Carolina Central.
Oh, okay. All right. I never did.
That was the only game they lost this year. They was undefeated up until that game.
Right. Yeah. That's why I had to ask, because I know I never did hear the score, and I didn't recall if they had won or lost. Okay.
No, they lost.
Okay.
It was about a touchdown, but they like I said, they lost at the. It was overtime. They lost. They lost by a touchdown.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Mm.
Yeah, they lost at the end, and hey, listen, hats off to Dion, and to
Yeah.
his point, I'm gonna tell you, man, you know, those that still having a hard time and struggling with the fact that he left, get over it. Ask yourself,
Yeah.
what are you doing? What were you doing prior to him coming to the SWAC, Jackson State? What were you doing to better your alumni? I mean, your alma mater.
Right.
Jackson State wasn't even
What were
nowhere in
you
the
doing?
picture.
Yeah.
Jackson State wasn't nowhere in the SWAC.
Well, I'm just I'm here. I'm not just finger pointing at Jackson State now. I'm talking about the whole HBCU. Those alumni. What were they doing to promote or better their schools? You know what I'm saying?
It's
And, but
not
yet,
even. It's not like I said. It's not even for me. It's not even just alumni. It's just us as a whole. Like
that's
at the end
true.
of the day,
That's true.
it's
But
just
if
us
you
as
can't
a
get
whole.
if you can't get your alumni to support you, how you expect to get
Right.
somebody outside of your alumni to support you?
Right.
Because I'm quite. If I'm not, I can't remember the. I know it's a couple of Hall of Famers that's in the Hall of Fame that came from Jackson. Just like there's
Yeah.
a couple from Fam, a couple
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Cutman.
Listen,
They're sprinkled.
that's a good. You know what? Well, maybe that's for another time. I'm curious to see how many actual Hall of Famers in the NFL right now. You might be able to Google it, Brandon. How many
I could
Hall of
Google it,
Famers?
but we have time to go over it. But yeah.
No. I mean, no. I'm just saying. If you look at the Hall of Famers, you can just Google how many Hall of Famers went to HBCU school. Narrow it down, and I guarantee you, there's quite a few of them in the Hall of Fame. But
Oh,
what have they
Oh
done?
yeah, I'm quite sure it is.
What have they done
to the alma mater.
exactly?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Dion came in there spending his money, and why would we expect Dion to have to come out his own? How many coaches you know that? And I'm talking about the Division One schools, or what they call them, the Division 5 schools.
Power fives or whatever.
Power 5. There you go, Mike. God, boy, you up on it a little bit and stuff. I see all that damn gray hair on your head.
Hey,
I guess you ain't forgot everything.
Hey, it's coming. I ain't forgot everything, Bingo.
Hey, you sound like Dion now talking about we coming. It ain't coming, Mac. It's there. Okay? It's there. The eagle has landed. But I'm glad you were able to join us, man. And this is what I've been trying to get you to do for the longest. And you've been avoiding me and stuff.
Bingo, let me just say this. I've been, now that all the older MacArthurs has passed, I'm it. Everybody, man, I've been busy as a bee. I'm the oldest living MacArthur on my family side now. So,
really?
Yeah, man. So everybody come to me for advice, or I have to go help here, help there, etc. Yeah, my wife can tell you I've been busy. She said you better sit your butt down before you fall down. So
I'm sure she got a good point there.
Yeah, man. I've been running nonstop, Bingo. But I'm trying to slow myself down, get back on the right track where I can, start, because I ain't been able to do nothing for myself or her here lately because I've been busy with family members and whatnot, trying to get together here and so. But
well, you know what? Where that happens, when you get older, somebody in that family line is going to have to be responsible.
Right.
Take responsibility, and well, unfortunately for you right now, you're the oldest, so it usually that burden falls on the oldest.
Right.
And so you're at that point where, listen, hey, whether you want to or not,
Right.
you got to make the right move in that regard.
There you go, because most of them have told me, they say, okay, Anthony, which my first name, they say, okay, Anthony, it's you now. And they not lying. Everybody comes to me when they got a little problem or want a little advice, etc. So it's like I just been busy as a bee, man. So, but I'm still alive and kicking and in good health, thanks to the Almighty. So I'm doing all right. But I'm gonna have to get back with you, like I said, on a talking more regular spree, like I said I was. But that's what been holding me back and whatnot. So, but
hey, listen, man, you take care of the priorities.
Right.
I know talking with me ain't no priority and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But you just got to handle things as they come. You got to handle things as they come, and that's what we all got to do. We all got to do, and then responsibilities come at different times, at different levels, in different ways that we least expect. And you know what I'm saying, you can try to prepare for it, but it's hard to prepare for the unknown. But you know that at some point that unknown will come to light, and so you just do what you got to do, man, to try to get through it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but yeah, you find anything, Brandon?
Man, listen, it's a lot of players in the NFL right now that actually play for NFL teams from HBCUs.
Yeah.
There's not any big names that actually stand out, but there are some.
What about the Hall of Fame? That's what I'm talking about.
Oh man,
How many Hall of Famers? That's it. That went to HBCU.
Yeah.
Well, we know. Well, Shannon let it be known all the time.
Yeah,
that,
Shannon won.
Yeah, he let it be known all the time. He was at HBCU. I think his brother went there too, to an HBCU. But yeah, I'm sure there's quite a few of them that went to HBCUs. But my thing is they got just as much clout. Well, maybe not just as much, but they got Hall of Fame jackets, and so they got some input or they can present to the to the HBCU schools if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key, if they wanted to. But what bothers me is, all the haters feel like it was Deion's responsibility to turn that whole, not just Jackson State around, but the whole HBCU by himself. Put the HBCU on your shoulders, Deion, and you carry us.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all better get your asses up and start supporting yourself and try to carry yourself. Stop looking for handouts.
There you go.
The man gave you a blueprint.
Yep.
But nobody want to pick the ball up and run with it.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody want to celebrate from it and the achievements that came out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, please. I tell you, boy, black people,
hey,
you got to stop this.
Man, you got a couple of them that was like back in the day, man. You got Shannon Sharp from Savannah State, Prairie View. You got Ken Houston, Elvin Bethia from North Carolina State, Art Shell, he went to Maryland State, Rayford Wright with the Fort Valley, Bob Hayes with the FAM.
Yep.
Emmett Thomas with the Bishop, Larry Little with the Cookman.
Man.
John Stallworth with the Alabama A&M.
Yep.
Michael Strahan went to Texas Southern, him and Winston Hill.
So you got some serious names there.
Yeah.
Right. Richard Diggs,
Doug Williams.
Tennessee State.
Doug Williams. First black quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
Mel Blunt with the Southern.
Them are one of the top cornerbacks ever.
So like I say, you have some names there, bro. It ain't like you don't have any names there. You have names there that went to HBCUs.
Oh yeah.
Grambling, you got Willie Brown, Buck Buchanan, Willie Davis, Charlie Joyner with the Grambling.
Listen to that lineup. Don't forget Doug Williams.
Yeah, he there. Yep.
Oh, you see that jersey right there?
I can't see the jersey, but he there.
Doug Williams, baby, first black quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. Beat the Washington Redskins at that time. Lit their ass up.
Joe did. Boy, he played a game in that.
He lit them up.
He lit them up, didn't he? He lit the Broncos up.
So to that point, man, you rounded off 15, 20 people, and I'm sure you wasn't halfway through the list.
Yeah, we talking about Hall of Fame. We talking about just Hall of Famers. You know what I mean?
We ain't talking about players.
We ain't talking about players. We talking about Hall of Famers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so again, and I won't put the emphasis so much on the Hall of Famers, even though I think they could have done more too. But it's the alumni, man. It's the alumni. They're not supporting the schools in a way that they can.
Right.
But we want to go. We want to go to the classics. Alumni, they'll pile up. They'll pile on you when they got the classics going. They'll be out there partying and watching the band, battle of the bands. But when it comes time to donate and contribute, you can't find them. You can't find them.
Can't find them. You're right.
But anyway, it's all good it's all good, and things are. Hopefully, they'll take the blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, all it takes is a couple to say, you know what, let's step our game up. And go ahead and do what we need to do to keep our schools going. But the thing is, the problem is you just can't run into those shady administrators, the people that's not letting the money flow where it needs to flow.
Right.
That's what you got to keep. And you know what? I think Deion said this. He said he was actually willing to hire an independent firm to just look into the financial side of how money was being spent and divided and divvied up in the HBCU. He was gonna hire him with his own money, by the way, but he wound up not doing it.
Right.
So miss me with that noise about it's all his fault. Miss me with that. I ain't even trying to hear it because you got to look at this from a outside the box. You got to look at it from outside the box. Otherwise, somebody gonna close that box up on you. You be in the dark and won't know what the hell's going on. So, but yeah, man. Listen, we been back on that Dion thing for a minute there. We never really got a chance to touch on what you guys say, Mike. You want to say something?
No, I remember when I first got on, when you called, when I called you said you guys was discussing Dion, and I wanted to find out just how you guys felt, about the Dion situation and whatnot by him leaving. Like I said, I thought he stayed one more year or two, but since he left and go to Colorado now, I'm saying it can be all good for him. But I just figured if he stayed a little longer, it would bring in a few more black coaches at the other HBCUs. That's my opinion on it. But
well, they got black coaches at the other HBCUs, but they don't
have
the name that Dion had, and again.
And then the guy at Tennessee State, I'm talking about some of the top notch name guys.
Right, but they gotta want to do it.
Right, that's what I was about to say.
He just read off to you about 20 guys in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
So right now, like I said, Dion, like I told you in the beginning, like when you first got on, Dion didn't have any plans on going to college, coaching college ball until he started getting those calls. So, like Bingo just said, it's up to the people.
Do you think he'll ever maybe come back and coach one of the Florida teams?
If he does, I'm gonna be real with you. If he does, let me just answer your question. I'm gonna say if he does. Yes, he would.
He would. Okay. Yeah.
I would.
Because you're talking about, and I'm not just talking about because he's from Florida, as you know.
He's from Florida.
So now, would he like to coach at his alumni at Florida State? Maybe that's probably one of his goals, like when it was for Mario Cristobal to come back to Miami.
Right.
Now, again, if you really want to play with the big boys, go into the SEC, go to Florida.
There you go.
And I'm a Hurricanes fan.
Go to
Florida. Go to Florida. If you want to play with the big boys, go into the toughest division in college football. Go to Florida.
Well, let me win. Since you say you're a Hurricane fan, do you think Cristobal gonna do good down there in Cane City at the U?
I think that he is, because if you look at this recruiting class, he solidify a lot of the needs that we have, especially offensive line, defensive line. We had a lot of players that transferred out, which was a lot of defensive backs.
Okay.
But we did have a lot of defensive backs that came in this recruiting class. Linebacker was definitely a week for us on defense. He solidified. Like right now, we have a total of 3 sets of brothers that's actually on the Hurricanes team.
Is that right?
So yeah, we got the Francis. I can never pronounce his name when I want to pronounce his name. He Hawaiian Magalileo brothers. When I play, he's a freshman. He's an left tackle. He's a freshman. His brother is a sophomore. He came from Washington State to come play for Miami. The Brown brothers, they daddy played for UM. He was a cornerback. So Damari and I forgot the other Brown brother. They're both cornerbacks. One of them played for UCF last year. The last 2 years, he got 2 years of eligibility left, and one of them is an incoming true freshman.
Okay.
And then what's the other set of brothers? It's on the tip of my tongue. It's 3 sets. I can't think of the other one, but they're there.
All right.
Already.
I didn't know that, but I'm a diehard Hurricane fan too. I don't think Bingo care too much for the Canes, even though he's from down in Miami. I don't know why. Or the Dolphins. Which one is Bingo you didn't like that much?
Both of them really, but hey, listen, I've been trying to root for both of those teams really for the long, but for some reason they keep coming up with some bull that make me going to go against them. Now, I figured, okay, Manny Diaz,
Uh-huh.
I thought he was garbage
I,
from the very beginning, and
He
I,
should have never got hired.
I'm
he should have never got hired,
yeah,
No,
I agree.
and
I'm
he
that
brought
was a
that team. He
that
brought
was
that
a
team
band
down.
aid.
yeah.
That was a band aid.
Yeah, he brought him. To me, he brought that team down really. And the players we were talking about this earlier, Brendan. Some of the players that he drafted, man, you would watch some of those games, and those guys act like they didn't even want to tackle nobody.
Uh,
I mean, it was pitiful. It was
it,
pitiful. And now everybody say this is Mario's bet. This is gonna be his team. So
Right,
now
right.
we're gonna see what he's gonna do.
yeah,
This is his first. This is his first official recruiting class. This
right.
one right here.
Uh-huh.
Even the one that he did when he got hired on,
Uh-huh.
when it was last year, November, December,
Yeah.
he had literally 2 weeks to get a recruiting class. Out of those 2 weeks, we went from like 50th, 40th, all the way up into the top 25. We was in the top, I want to say the top 15 recruiting class, top 20 recruiting class last year within 2 weeks. Now we're in the top 5. We're number 4. If
Ooh.
Kamari McLean actually signs, then
Mhm.
we'll be in the top 3. But
Mhm.
again, as you know, with any dynasty, with any school, Alabama, Georgia, US, not USC,
Oh,
Ohio State, Michigan. Look how long it took Jim Harbaugh to actually get over that hump of beating Ohio State. It
yeah.
took him literally like 3,
Well,
4, 5 years.
yeah. You're right.
You had to start you have to start recruiting class on top of recruiting class to have that depth. And Mario, when he came in, he said that this team is not where we need. We don't have the depth. We don't. Offensive line, receivers, linebackers. We don't have it. Our linebackers outside of the offensive line was the biggest problem of our defense. Linebackers.
Yep. And you know, Miami, the Hurricanes have not beaten a SEC team, I think, in what 15 or 20 years.
Oh, was it 15 or
It's been a
20?
while they beat a
Been,
SEC team, man.
been that long?
It's been a long
Yeah,
time.
it's been a long time.
It's
We
been a
came close to
long
beating
time.
Florida 3 years ago. We came close in the
Mm-hmm.
first game when they played in Orlando. We
Yeah.
came close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah,
Hmm.
it's been a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what Mario. I mean, now that he's got his team,
Right.
his recruits,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna see how much of
Mhm.
that it was really a true factor.
Now, can I
Because
sit up here and say that I really agree with our offensive coordinator? I'm really on the fence. Would I prefer somebody else? Absolutely.
Okay.
But I am a big fan of giving this person another year. Because
Okay.
again, we was hampered by a lot of injuries on the offensive line.
Is that right? This past season?
Our offensive line, after like I told telling Bingo, I'm like, yo, after the third game, we was down to our third string center, our third string right guard, our second or third string left tackle. We was hurt on the offensive line. And then
Okay.
our quarterback went down. After our quarterback went down, that was our season.
That was our season. There, you're right. Because
And then the defense stayed on the field all game, and that's what killed us.
yeah, you're right.
well, they
So
got redemption.
I'm all for giving the offensive coordinator a pass. Everybody want to talk about Kevin Steele. Nah, our blown assignment was based off of our players. Even one of the players, Cam Kitchen, which he's an All-American, they voted him into the All-American spot. He even said, he was like, no, the scheme is not the issue. It's the players. He said they're not taking the time to actually study film and do this, do that. This man led the ACC in interceptions. Come on. Like, he's telling you from the locker, he's in the locker room. He's like, they're not taking the time to study and actually do what they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming from a player, not a
Wow.
coach, but a player
Yeah.
on the defense. But yeah, that's the starting free safety, strong safety.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna sit up here and say he's another Ed Reed, but he's a ball hawk.
Mhm.
He's one of the ones, Bingo, that'll go from one side of the field all the way to the other and go get the ball.
Oh,
Right. So, he was
But
covering
yeah,
that. I
he
listen.
covered the whole field.
I want to. You just don't know how bad I want to root for the Canes. I'd rather root for the Canes than the Dolphins. The Dolphins, I'm done with their ass. I've
Man,
been done
the
with them.
Dolphins. Listen, Dolphins. I'm not a Dolphins fan, but again, talking about the Dolphins for me, That defensive coordinator need to go.
He needs to go. You're right. That's who caused them the game playing Buffalo this past weekend.
The defensive coordinator need to go.
That defense let him down because
Listen.
to him. What's his name? Tua. He was on his game. He played a pretty good game.
But the defense giving up points, doing it. You can't.
I tell you, man.
Yeah, that defense had a drop off. I don't know what happened and where it came from.
Yeah,
but they didn't have a big drop off because when my boy Flores had him.
Yeah, they was tight.
Listen, that's what I listen. I was just about to say that. Like, if you really, which I know it would never happen. But if they go back and get Brian Flores as a defensive coordinator, but I know it'll never happen.
No, it won't happen.
That defense will be right.
Yeah, they was already a playoff defense when he was there.
Right.
But he just didn't have no confidence in Tua. And now people are realizing, to me, Tua ass is coming back to earth. If he didn't have Tyreek Hill, Tua, they'd be talking about getting rid of him right now because Tyreek Hill made a big difference. He made a big difference in that offensive team. Because you got Tyree. I mean, that dude is something else. I didn't know he was that good. I didn't know he was that good and fast.
That boy,
come on, he a game changer, man. He did it at Kansas City.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He is. He's a game changer. But I tell you what people are seeing now is Tua got off to a hot start.
Yep.
But once he had the concussions and set out a couple of games, he came back. He won some games, but teams are figuring it out now.
Yeah.
Teams are figuring him out, and he's going to revert back to the old normal Tua that is not a franchise quarterback. He's going to show y'all going down the stretch here. All y'all Dolph fans, y'all get ready for some more disappointment. Y'all going to be singing my praise. You're going to say, you know what? That damn bingo was right. That damn Tua ain't about shit. He can't, he's screwing up big time. And because teams, they're finally figuring out how to take away Tyreek Hill. That's all they got to take away. Tyreek Hill.
But then you got to get Waddle involved. You get Waddle involved.
He ain't gonna beat you with just Waddle. He needs Tyreek Hill to blow the top off of it. Tyreek Hill when he that dude, man, when he's running out, when he's out in a pattern, I ain't never seen nobody that's always wide open.
Yep.
He is always wide open.
And you hit the nail on the snars, bingo. Because Tua don't have really a strong arm.
He don't.
A lot of times, what's his name now? You just talked about him.
Waddle.
Hill
with Flores.
Yeah. No, Tyreek Hill. He has to kind of slow up and wait for the ball to get to him on some of them throws that Tua be making.
But that's the thing. Tua never had a strong arm when he was in Alabama. He never had an arm.
But he's accurate though with it. Right?
Granted, yeah, he's accurate. But again, you heard what you just said. What did you just say? When he throw the ball, Tyreek actually has to slow down and actually hit the ball.
Yeah, he do. I haven't seen him hit Tyreek in full stride yet.
He's never going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that big arm like what Mahomes have. I'm sorry, he doesn't. He doesn't have a big arm.
Oh,
and like I said, defenses are catching up with that. They're finding a way to slow down Tyreek. If they slow him down, then they're gonna make Tua have to go because Tyreek is always his first read.
Right.
So now they finna take it that way from him, and that slows Tua down. Now if he's got to go to his second, third read, now you got a shot.
Yeah.
So to me, he'll never be a franchise quarterback. I don't care what the Dolphins put in it. All these Dolphin fans out there that was hooping and hollering when they was 3-4. Man, please, that was a smoke screen.
I'm a diehard Dolphin fan too, as well as the Canes. But I said even when they had won the 5 straight games, I said really they ain't played nobody but Baltimore at the time. I said that's the only team that they came from a significant score back and wind up winning that game.
And Baltimore should have won that game going away, but their defense too. Their defense is garbage down the stretch.
Garbage. You're right.
Hey, Bingo, I'm sorry to cut y'all off. Hey, I gotta make a run. I gotta make this run to the store.
Oh yeah, that's right, man. You gotta get on out of here.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, get me on the next one.
All right, not a problem. I'll hit you up and let you know up front. And I appreciate you joining us and stuff and coming on. And I'm even more shocked that 50 Funky McNasty came on in this time. And we'll do it. We're definitely gonna do it again. And you guys enjoy your Christmas. I'm gonna send out a Christmas video, by the way. Okay. It's one another one that I put together. And y'all check it out, man. It's just gonna be wishing you and family and loved ones a Merry Christmas. Mac, I don't know if you saw the last little video I sent out, but check it.
Okay, yeah, I saw it. I sure did, Bingo. Yeah, I got that. But
All right.
same to you guys. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. If I don't talk to you again or whatever, but I'm sure I will with you, Bingo, again or whatever.
All right, same to y'all. I gotta
All
let me get
right.
up out of
All right,
here.
Brandon. All right.
All
Appreciate
right.
it, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, and Mac, and like I said, when we I had a couple other people that were supposed to be on tonight,
Uh-huh.
and that that's how I'm glad you called, because sometimes people get a little busy, and then all of a sudden they can't make it, or they can't be
Right.
it. And so you help come in and buy some of the time for us,
Right.
and I appreciate it, and I know it's past your bedtime and stuff and all, but
But
we
let me ask you this while it's on my mind now. Since how often do you do this? Is this every night or whatever? What?
well, I do it. I haven't been doing it because I've been getting a little lazy and stuff. But
Okay.
uh, I try to do it once a week. Like for example, we got the playoffs coming up,
Right.
so we want to get together and talk about the playoff games and stuff.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something to talk about Dion, like you said.
Right.
And so we talked about that a lot at the beginning, but you missed most
Uh-huh.
of it. But you can always go back and
Uh-huh.
watch the video.
Oh,
You'll be able to go back to YouTube and pull up my video. You got my video, you got the channel, you got the link to get to me.
right.
So you can always go back and catch the beginning part where we was talking about Dion and stuff.
Okay.
And you definitely want to watch that
Right.
video that he talked about, that he did with Shannon Sharp.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to you want to watch that, because
Oh,
that really tells you a lot of things that he did that nobody want to give him credit for.
okay.
So,
I'll
but
Yeah, because a lot of times I watch. I don't know if you watch it. You probably be working or whatever. But Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. I watch,
uh-huh.
and then what's his name? Talking guy all the time.
Stephen A.
Stephen A. Yeah.
Yeah, he's bold mouth.
Character there, ain't it, bud?
Hey, you know what? You know what I wanted to talk about too. I don't know if you've seen it since you watched Shannon and Skip.
Uh-huh.
That little heated debate that they got into.
Oh man, yeah. Oh, hey man, I thought they was gonna go to blows. At least
Listen, Shannon was about to go South Carolina on him.
I,
And so he really.
I sure did, Bingo. I saw that particular show that morning, and my brother, he said he had been getting feedback also, but he saw it, and he said, "Man, everybody talking about Shannon and Skip, and says Shannon should have whooped his butt." Yeah.
Exactly, and you know what? I know behind the scenes,
Uh-huh.
he pushed the wrong button.
Oh,
We all kind and gentle people for the most part, but
yeah.
we got a button that if you push it,
If you push it,
you got trouble.
yeah.
You got trouble on your hands. And Shannon took his glasses off. Hey, what the first thing a man do when he get ready to go throw down?
He
If he wear glasses,
yep. Boot him.
He take them off.
Shannon made the comment. He said, "You getting a little personal now."
Yeah. He pissed Shannon off.
Yeah,
He pissed him off.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk about that subject too. And maybe we'll do that the next time.
That'll be a good one, Bingo. You're right.
Yeah.
Shannon, because Skip, to me, my brother, I think Skip is a little racist, or show a little racism at times to me. That's me, and I could be wrong. But you know how much he really just talk about putting what's his name, Tom Brady on a pedestal all the time.
Yeah.
And to me, Brady, all right. He done got his 7 rings, but a lot of it is by luck too. That's the way I see it.
That's what I was telling Brandon earlier. I said, people give Brady all the credit, but if you really drill down on it, who was winning those games for him in the Super Bowl? It was Adam Vinatieri with his foot.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Adam Vinatieri was kicking game-winning field goals.
Right.
Brady got him in position, but he couldn't get him in the end zone. But they tried Adam Vinatieri out there.
Mm-hmm.
He was kicking field goals to win a couple of those Super Bowls.
Boy, hell on the snarl. That's exactly what my brother had said too. Bingo. Yep. Sure did.
So, but yeah, that in itself is something, man. And Skip really pissed me off with that. He had me ready to slap him when he said that stuff to Shannon. Oh man, he cut through the core.
Oh yeah,
he cut through the core, man. And Shannon, and the first thing somebody get ready to fight, the first thing they do is take their glasses off.
That's right, brother. You right.
He took, and then Skip had the nerve to tell him to put his glasses back on. Boy, what the, man? I'm coming across this table on your ass right now. But anyway,
I'm surprised Shannon's still there. I was looking for him to maybe say he gonna walk or either.
Trust me, he will. He will.
Yeah.
He's playing smart. Dion, and he listened to Dion a lot. Dion done told him, "Hey, listen, bro, you ain't got to take that.
Right.
But here's how you gonna form your what I call an exit strategy.
Okay.
Always have an exit strategy. We as black folks, we don't do that.
Right.
You have a strategy how you gonna leave somebody or you gonna leave a company or business. You don't just up and walk.
Mm-hmm.
You have a strategy behind it. And Shannon is smart enough now. He's got enough advice for people to tell him. Shannon can do that show. His podcast is better than that show.
Then that show, yeah. I have.
And he's carrying Skip right now.
He sure is.
He's carrying him.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So,
I like Shannon gets off, man. He's good. You know. Oh, Stephen A. is all right, but sometimes I get a little tired. He can take his too far at times.
Yeah. Stephen A. He'll get into himself
a
lot. And but then he just go on with it.
Right.
But Shannon keep it real. He keep it real.
Yeah.
And Shannon will talk about black folks if he have to.
Oh yeah. He tell the butt naked truth is what I like about it. You know?
Exactly. So
right.
I wouldn't be surprised, Mac. Like you said, I'm saying if that was me, I'm thinking about I'm figuring out how I'm gonna lead this, and I'm gonna start. He's already kind of started his own show with his podcast. He's got a very popular podcast now, and he get people on his podcast that they cannot get on first on Undisputed.
Okay.
Skip can't get those people on Undisputed. Shannon has to be the one to bring them on there. Shannon got that interview with Dion. Strictly exclusive, only with Shannon. He's the only one that Dion sat down and talked to.
Right.
And so Skip would never be able to get Dion on that show to talk. Never.
Right.
So Shannon got clout that he steady building, and Shannon come with some good information. He come with facts, and he don't get caught up. I mean, he in his emotions, but he got caught up that day.
He sure did.
He got caught up.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I'm glad. I don't know what happened after that because I didn't. Skip would not apologize. He didn't apologize. He refused to apologize for it.
Is that right?
Refused. Yeah.
I'm thinking they might apologize and made up after the show or behind the scenes or whatever. But
forget that. You embarrassed this man on camera.
Right. So he should apologize on camera.
On camera. Forget that behind you embarrassed me like that on camera in front of all these millions of people. They think you're gonna get me in the back room and apologize. No, you need to do it on national TV.
Right. I got
and he never did. So what that tells you, he's standing his ground.
Right.
Okay. All right. So that's how you really feel then.
Yeah.
You be surprised, boy. Yeah. Look here, boy. But yeah, Mac, man, listen. Will Vivian at? Nod?
Huh?
Where's your wife?
Oh, she in the bed, sleep, man. She done had a hit, or you know what? And she
some of that medicinal.
Yeah.
I did a video on that too. I don't know if you saw it.
No,
you've been missing out, boy, on my stuff.
When I saw your the last text message I got about the Christmas thing or whatever, and I said, damn, that's right, man. I done forgot all about bingo. I ain't listened to the jazz thing or nothing. I don't know if you still do that as well or what. You know, I've been for a while. So
yeah, no, I don't do it on the internet, but I do little segments of jazz. I'm gonna send you guys probably tomorrow. There's another little video. And it's got a song. It's got a song on it called "Christmas at Mama's House." It is so appropriate. You're gonna like it. You're gonna like it. And what it does is also it shows you decorations like I was showing you on that video. I don't know if you got the one today, but the song is "Christmas at Mama's House," and it talks about it makes you reflect how things when you were going back. Every Christmas you would go to your mama's house, and this is how things were going. The song is on point. Okay. And then I just kind of did the Christmas decorated houses in the background. Okay. You see that. So check it out. And for those of you that's out there that might be listening as well, check it out. I'm going to put it on Twitter. Not Twitter, but I'm going to put it on TikTok. And I'm going to do the full-length version on YouTube. Because I'm limited to how long I can put a song on TikTok.
Right.
But I can on YouTube, I can make it the full length of the song. It can be 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 8 minutes, but on TikTok, it's usually can only be up to 3 minutes.
Okay, well, look, have you done retired now, bingo, or what?
Yeah.
All right, so
I'm retired but still working.
All right.
You know, black folks ain't got it like that. We can't just retire and call it a day. Hell no, we gotta keep working.
We gotta keep working. You're right, because I be doing a little something too. You know.
Right? Exactly. You gotta do a little something, keep yourself afloat. But yeah, man. We gonna talk, man. I'm gonna get you on my next show.
Okay.
Whenever we do something, and what I'll do is I'll let you know what we're gonna talk about. It's always something to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Always.
Right.
And I'm glad we was able to get that stuff out of the way with Dion, because I really wanted to talk about that. And a couple people that was opposing it, they didn't show up and stuff. So
that's right, they didn't show up.
No, they didn't show. So I wanted to hear all that hater stuff they had going on. I wanted to rebuke it.
Right.
Not rebuke it, but refute it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, all right. Well, look. What time is it? 9:30.
Yeah.
10:30 your time.
10:30. Yeah. I try to keep the shows to an hour and a half. We already hit 2 hours on the show.
Right.
So, but go back to the video if you want to catch us at the beginning when we was really diving into that stuff about Dion.
Okay.
I see you had a strong interest in it. So
yeah.
And the thing about that stuff with Dion, it's gonna keep going. There's gonna be a story every week about now what he's doing at Colorado.
At Colorado, yeah.
So it's gonna always be something going on with that, and then there may be some more information that come out about what went on at Jackson State that we don't know. He let some of that stuff out in that interview.
Okay.
With with Shannon.
Right.
He let some things out that hadn't got out yet.
Okay.
So check it out, man.
Yeah.
Tell Vivian that said hello.
I will.
And bro, appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
and I can actually see you, boy. You better go ahead and get you some of that Grecian and stop messing around.
I hear you, brother. I will. But tell your family I say hello, also your wife and everybody on your end doing good, great so far still.
Kind of, sort of, yeah, kind of, sort of, man. You know, we had some tragedy in the family, cousins on the cousin level, but other than that.
Yeah,
we all hanging in there just like everybody else, man. We just trying to keep our head afloat.
I got you. Okay. Well, all right, Bingo. It's good talking to you, my brother. And like I say, I'm gonna try not to stay so.
Listen, you ain't gotta make no promises to me. Well, I know who you are.
You know. Okay.
But see, what I do know now is you know how to get on the show. Now you know what to do.
Yeah, I'm proud, like you were saying, get my grandchildren to help me. When you sent that link and I read it and shit, bam, I hit the thing and boom, I was right there. But like you say, just tap it and I should get it on. And I was able to do that. And as they say, the rest is history.
The rest was history and stuff. And that's usually what I do is try to keep it simple. Right. Use the KISS method. And although I tell you, when I send you something, I'm just say, just tap the link. It'll bring you right to where you need to be.
Okay.
And the good is good. And when I'm gonna send this video out, man, I hope people like it. I think they will, because it's gonna bring back some memory. It's gonna bring back some memories when we're talking about going to Mama's house for Christmas. Right. We all can relate to that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right,
bro. And this is typically how I come in, and this is kind of how I leave when I do my little set. So I usually come in with a little bit of music, and then I usually leave with a little bit of music.
All right.
Okay. My YouTubers, my video viewers, yo, check it out. Appreciate you joining me for this simple episode. Don't forget, this is the one and only, and of course, the only one, EJB Long, coming at you. Make sure you join me the next time around, right here on this Sports Phanatics episode. We want a special guest. We had Matt Carson in the house. We had Brandon in the house. And look forward to some other celebrities who want to be celebrities. You know how that goes, guys. In the meantime, I'm getting ready to back out of here. Y'all get ready to enjoy your holidays. Look forward to that video coming out tomorrow. It's called Christmas at Mama's House. Produced by, of course. I'm just trying. That's it. DJ Be Long in the house. Back. I'm out of here.